Buona dimineața. Today is 6 May of 2026. It is a Wednesday, and this is Paul, and I'm with Tammy. She's in front of me right now. Yep, nope, she hasn't left me yet. And it is day 34 on our trek across Romania on the Via Transilvanica. It's about a little after 8 in the morning. We are leaving a village called Secasel, or Secasel, or Sekash. It's been pronounced several ways to us. We stayed at Casa T, which is sort of managed, hosted by the priest. I'm not sure if he does services in Secasel or if he does services in Blaj, but they live, it's him and his wife, and I guess they have 2 children. They live in Blaj. So we arrived here at about 1 o'clock yesterday, really early. And, you know, we reserved the spot on WhatsApp, found the information out of the VT guide, and very responsive. The wife speaks really good English, and she met us at the location. Since we arrived so early, we asked, hey, is there a place to eat lunch in Secasel? No. Is there a grocery store in Secasel? No. So she drove from with food, basically a dinner and breakfast, and met us. They gave us access to the house. We waited there and took our showers, etc. And she showed up at about 3 o'clock or so with her daughter, and basically made us feel at home and told us all the things that are going on and brought us the food. And we paid, and it was 360 RON or lei, which we think was very reasonable for a dinner meal. What, did I get it wrong?
360, right?
360, that's what I said. 360 RON, which we think was very reasonable for a dinner, a breakfast, and a night stay. And we had basically the house to ourselves. It can accommodate 2 more people at least. But we had the place to ourselves, had our own bedroom, private bedroom, and just the shared bathroom that we used as well, with a shower, etc. So very nice, again, very friendly, super accommodating, just, yeah, very nice. And it was the typical Romanian breakfast, so we ate what we could and packed what we wanted for lunch. So we have lunch today. So spoiler alert, we are not heading to Alba Iulia today. We are cutting that off our trek. We're going straight to Sebes, Sebes, which we think is at least maybe a 30-kilometer day. So we'll see how long it takes us to get there. It's supposed to get up to 81 today. The sun's out already. It's a beautiful sky. A few clouds over to our right. We're surrounded by the Carpathian Mountains, of course, and just on our way to Sebes, mostly via the Via Transilvanica. We are approaching kilometer stone 747. There it is right there, with oddly enough, looks like a rabbit. We were just talking about rabbits. And as we were coming toward the crest of this hill, we had our 5th sighting of a fox. Yeah, and boy, we have red foxes back home, and sometimes they look kind of mangly, mangy, really skinny tails, which is normal. Maybe it's just the time of year, but all of the 5 foxes we've seen so far really look healthy, real bushy tails, and they seem a little bigger than the foxes we have back home. which is, we're not sure why, but anyway, we have seen, that was our 5th fox sighting on the trip. Oh, yesterday I mentioned the rabbit. We were coming into Secasel, yeah, and we saw a jackrabbit. We weren't quite sure what it was at first because it's so darn big, but yeah, it was a big old rabbit. Probably stood maybe 2.5 feet, counting its ears, so maybe even more than that. But yeah, it was hopping across a crop field. So yeah, we still see animals. Not seen a bear yet, which is okay by us. We are headed in that direction across these huge farm fields, crops. Just, you would think you were in Iowa except for the mountains. But yeah, definitely industrial farming here on the outskirts of Blage. Just wanted to mention, so our host last night, she had said, and you know, we've talked about how many people we've seen on the Via Transilvanica, and it's not been a lot, frankly. But over the Labor Day weekend, she hosted 3 sets of 4 people, 3 days in a row. So the weekends and or the holiday weekends especially, we've seen there's sort of an uptick in number of backpackers or hikers on the Via Transilvanica. And we've talked about the few folks we've seen doing through hikes, which I think have been just 2, may have gotten that wrong. David from American living in Romania, and then we also met some gentleman from Brussels who lost some of his gear we were trying to help find. So yeah, still pretty much feels like we have the trail to ourselves. So it is early in the season, which we don't mind, but yeah, no buts, just enjoying it as we can. So we made a sharp right turn in the field and came across this new crop, which I'm not sure what it is. It's got a white flower and it's flowering already. Well, maybe we'll find out when we stop at the next village. So this crop, whatever it is, looks like it's a rotational crop. It looks like corn was planted here prior to whatever this crop is. And if you notice, there are a whole bunch of other plants in there. Typically, if you go to an industrial farm in the United States, you won't see a single plant besides the one that they planted and they want to grow. Because, of course, you know, we use Roundup or some derivative of Roundup to get rid of all the the weeds that we don't want in our crops. Here, it's probably a good thing that you see all these other plants growing, because that suggests they use less pesticides and herbicides to kill all those other things, which would suggest it's a little bit better for you and better for the environment. But who knows? But it's an observation that we both noticed and thought was worth sharing. And some sheep over there, and a great friendly encounter with the shepherd. He's got dogs, but he looks to be very friendly and well in control of his dogs. Well, okay, cover your ears if you don't want to hear some, I don't know, disgusting stuff. But, you know, there's a certain bit of candor that comes with old age. So as I mentioned, I'm turning 65 this summer, and the candor comes with old age, but it also comes with, so in December, I had a radical prostatectomy done because I had prostate cancer. And so they took out my prostate and did all that stuff. And I was diagnosed over 5 years ago. And so I've been having checkups, and I was under active surveillance, and they were doing all kinds of things to me, biopsies and so all of those procedures, you know, it's pretty much, hey, I've been poked and prodded and cut, and and people have seen things that they probably didn't want to see, parts of me. But anyway, so yeah, certain bit of candor. So one of the items I brought is butt paste. It's I don't know if it's an Australian product or what, but it's similar to Balmex in the States, which is for diaper rash. And now, granted, I don't wear a diaper, fortunately, but I do get diaper rash or rash, and the Balmex stuff really helps with soothing that rash and helping the pain go away and the redness and all that stuff. So definitely highly recommend for these long distance hikes, especially if it's hot and you're sweating. Things happen and you might actually get some kind of rash in those places that you'd rather not talk about. But butt paste comes in a smaller tube, not the size of a Balmex tube, but and probably is enough for a long distance hike. Anyway, just thought I'd mention it. Just want to be helpful to people that are backpacking, especially if they want to consider the Via Transilvanica. And there you have it. Alrighty. So I'm no expert. I wouldn't call myself an expert on hiking or backpacking or walking, whatever you want to call it. But there was something. So the gentleman who posted a bunch of videos about the Via Transilvanica a couple years ago is when he did it. His name goes by Paul. It's Ventures Over 60. And now he's a ballet instructor. So you got to figure the gentleman knows how to move gracefully and efficiently, probably. And he brought up a point in one of his videos about how to walk and how you basically, there are certain techniques to put less stress on your bones and your muscles, your joints, and to walk more efficiently so that you gain ground quicker with less energy. And granted, I couldn't speak the way he spoke, but I can say he brought up some good points about backpacking and hiking, in that, generally, it's just some obvious things are, like we mentioned before, shortest distance between 2 points, a straight line, right? That saves you distance. And any step you can save is a little bit of energy saved. Also, try to, don't lift if you don't have to, don't lift your feet up very high. Just try to walk smoothly. Always try to find a flat surface to put your foot on, not one that's sort of bent to the left, bent to the right, bent forward, bent backward, because it makes for a more efficient and a less stressful step. Also, what else? If you can, increase the size of your stride. A larger stride means less steps. Obviously don't strain yourself, but if you can, even if you increase it just a little bit, it helps. Also, for me, going downhill, I will bend my knees more and sort of let my body just sort of glide down the hill instead of braking with every step. If you're braking at every step, you're putting, again, more stress on your joints and your feet and etc. So it's just kind of let yourself ride. If it's too steep, obviously you can't do that. But if it's not too steep, you just kind of bend your knees and just kind of let the hill take you down gently and smoothly if possible. Anyway, those are a couple things worth mentioning. Again, I'm no expert, and I'm sure anybody out there watching this video has hiked or backpacked before, and aren't novices themselves and know how to walk. But it's not a bad point to share and to repeat, so that folks who aren't all that familiar with long distance hiking can learn how to do it more efficiently. You guys want to come out of there, don't you? Well, that's not me. The farmer will be along here soon, probably. Yeah, sorry, not time to go yet. But good that you're looking. I'm sure the farmer will come. Alrighty, we just passed kilometer stone 755. And we entered into this mature tree forest from the open fat pastures and crop fields. So, nice break from the sun on this rather warm spring day. We're not sure how long it's going to last. I don't think it's a very long path in the forest, unfortunately. So we'll be out back in the sun again shortly. But for the meantime, we'll take advantage of the shade when we got it. Kilometer stone 756. Boy, you got to give those trailblazers some credit. They really know how to find the trails with the beautiful views. Not sure what town that is, but probably Abba Iulia. But wow, gorgeous view. Just passed kilometer stone 759 and crested this hill, and we're looking at where we're heading. It's all the way over there. So here is, I think, rapeseed for making oil. That's the only thing that I know of that blooms yellow like that. They grow it as crops. I'm familiar with it from seeing it being grown over in England. But I didn't realize it grew so tall. And maybe the stuff we saw earlier today, it looks kind of like this, the same kind of stalk. So maybe that was rape that we saw that would replace the cornfield. So that's what they substitute or swap out each season. Well, we just passed kilometer stone 761 and we are working our way toward Alba Iulia. But as I said earlier today, we are not going, spoiler alert, we're not going to Alba Iulia this afternoon. We are continuing on to Sebes. We're sort of making a left turn when the trail makes a right turn, or we're going straight when it makes a right turn, whatever. But right now you can see we are fully exposed in the middle of these farm fields. Got some kind of, maybe that's alfalfa on our left. That's maybe a good guess. Alfalfa. I'm not sure what they're planting here on the right. It's not corn, it's too close together, I think. Maybe it's I'm not sure. Alfalfa, and that looks like wheat over to our left coming up. We just passed a good old rapeseed field. You can see there's one over to our right as well, the yellow. I didn't realize they grew so tall. They're about 4 feet tall. And then this, I think, is a wheat of some kind. We saw some that's a little bit more mature that had the kernels or the whatever you call the stuff. And yeah, we're just unfortunately doing some road marching today, this afternoon. It's a little after noon. Not sure what the temperature is, but it feels warm, and it is definitely sunny. Trail turns right here down that road, as you can see from the sign. However, we are going this way towards Sebes instead of Alba Iulia, and hopefully we'll be there in, I don't know, maybe a few kilometers. But we just passed kilometer stones 765, which show 3 stones walking, which is kind of cool. We've got pictures of it as well. But yeah, we're not heading that way. We are heading to the left. Right, so we just turned off the trail, just past kilometer stone 765, and we're heading to Sebes instead of Alba Iulia. We passed the 13-mile mark, according to AllTrails, and had we gone to Alba Iulia, it would have been at least a 20-mile day, we believe, and we think it's at least 7 miles to Sebes, And we're hoping it won't be much more than that. It's kind of hard to tell because the road that we're on now, a little farm road, if you can see, is not a primary road, so can't get good distances, but we're hoping that it's just another 7 miles to go to Sebes. Might be 8 though, which would put us at 21 miles, which would be our longest day so far. And I think we've already gained 1,700 feet elevation. So big day, hot sun. Good, good to have the sun, but oh, it's brutal on this sort of road walk, and we've been exposed most of the day. So I can imagine in the middle of the summer, this would be really, really tough. So here's what we're seeing as we walk towards Sebes. Just a beautiful set of crops across the valleys, and then the snow-capped mountains all the way in the back. We'll zoom in on them. There you go. Just beautiful view from this high pasture. Right, well, we joined back up with the Via Transilvanica after taking a almost 2.5 mile detour off of the Via Transilvanica. You can see our lovely tea, and we're walking through these, what I think is rapeseed, but who knows. But beautiful yellow flowers on these tall, almost 4-foot high plants. And if you look down there, you can see where we're headed into the town, or the village, town of Sebes, S-E-B-I-S. But we've got a little ways to go, maybe a little over 3 miles, and we'll be at our final destination for tonight. So far we've gone over 15 miles, almost 16 miles, and climbed 1,800 feet elevation. So not an easy day. We still have more to do, but this right now is going to be mostly downhill. Alrighty, it is 3:30 in the afternoon, and we are walking into the town of Sebes, S-E-B-I-S. We've so far walked, hiked, backpacked about 18.5 miles. We have about 2 kilometers left to our accommodation. It's La Strada. It's an apartment. I'm not sure how big it is, but it is just right at the beginning of town. So we're glad for that, because it's been a long day, a whole lot of time out in the sun. And of course, sucky part is we're ending it. We're on this road that has some traffic on it. There's a sidewalk over there, so maybe we'll walk on the sidewalk. But yeah, anyway, we're almost finished with the day, but it's been a long slog today. Beautiful views up in the high areas, looking down on the farm fields, whatever the crops were, at least wheat, maybe rapeseed, maybe alfalfa. Not entirely sure. Didn't see any corn though, but yeah, plenty of crops. Not a lot of. We saw probably 4 or 5 flocks of sheep, some with shepherds, some without, some with dogs, some without. So anyway, yeah, looking forward to that beer once we get to our accommodation.